Our basement used to look like this, straight out of the 90s with all the oak and beige. I finally got sick of looking at it, so I decided to tackle this renovation all by myself. But I had a budget, so I'm taking these cabinets down and saving them for later. The first thing I did was do concrete countertops. This was a DIY project, and it was a struggle, but I got there in the end, and they turned out amazing. And to save money, I decided to just refinish my cabinets. So I sanded, primed, and then added in some cabinet-specific paint. If you take the time to prep your cabinets, you can get a smooth factory-like finish even without a paint sprayer. But I have one, so I decided to make my life easier. On the back side of this bar, I added in this antique mirrored tile. This was my first time working with glass tile. I would highly recommend using self-leveling tile spacers. At the end of it, it was a fun game of adult whack-a-mole. 10 out of 10 recommend. And I wanted to make this a hangout spot, so I'm going to take those upper cabinets I took down and turn them into a bar. I've never built anything like this before, so I kind of was winging it and hoping that it turned out good. I got everything set up, and then I did the shake test, and it looked good enough for me. I'm really glad I saved money and reused these cabinets. They're solid wood, and the bar looked custom by the time this was done. So don't ever throw out those old oak cabinets you have in your home because they can easily be reused. Once I had the bar wrapped and all the materials, I decided to add in some trim and some cove molding to elevate the bar space. And then I added in a concrete countertop. Here's a quick transition for you. And finally, one of my favorite parts of this project, this ugly ceiling had to go. I found these tiles that you could just swap out and replace. These are concave, so they actually added some height down in our basement, and I didn't have to demo anything. They had plenty of colors, but I chose black because I felt like it added more to the space. And then I installed some beautiful LVP. I actually had to do this twice because I installed it without a vapor barrier the first time. So here's your warning to make sure you read all your instructions before starting. I had to call in mental support because I was fighting through tears at this point. It was time to work on the walls. I found these faux brick panels. They're like a 3D texture, and I wanted them to look as authentic as possible. So I ended up cutting all the edges to do this cookie cutter method so they looked like real brick. This isn't necessary, but I do feel like it made the brick look more authentic. And then I spent about 2 weeks grouting my life away between every single brick. Yes, this was a lot of work, but oh my gosh, did it make it look so good. I finished about 3 audiobooks in this time. Okay, hang in with me because I'm about to show you the final reveal. Here it is. This is the finished bar space. I absolutely love how this all turned out. I did somehow convince myself that this project would only take me about 3 or 4 months, and in the end it took me close to 10. There are some things I miss showing, like the floating shelves I built and all the trim along the walls, but it's hard to cram 10 months of work into one video. Our basement is no longer stuck in the 90s, and it's become the perfect spot to have all our friends come over and hang out. So what do you think? Would you try this in your home?